Yeah, I've been with HubSpot for just under 3 years now. I started in mid 2018. My 3-year anniversary is coming up in just a few weeks. So it's been an awesome time here at HubSpot. I've been a channel account manager the whole time. So what that means is I work with agencies like ROI Online when they have their clients that are looking to scale their business. We're kind of the tech side, and ROI Online and agencies like yours are the ones who are kind of taking that tech and crafting the message. I always use, you probably heard this, Steve, on all the demos we've done, the limo analogy, where HubSpot is the vehicle, HubSpot's the mechanics behind what you want to accomplish, and agencies like ROI Online are the chauffeurs that take that vehicle and drive it.
Jim Tata, welcome to the ROI Online Podcast.
Amazing, right?
I've got a list of questions I want to ask because I hear them all the time. Mm-hmm. So we're going to run through these and we're going to test you. We're going to grade you to see how you do. Okay. And no, I'm teasing. You're going to do great. But here we go. So what can HubSpot do for me as a business owner, right?
Yeah. And I'm going to do my best to not sound like I'm just spewing company lines here and give kind of my opinion on it. You're going to hear me say two things a lot on this podcast. You're going to hear the best CRM or the number one CRM for scaling companies, and you're going to hear me say crafted, not cobbled. And the reason this relates to your question is that if you are a company and you're looking to set up your tech stack, not just MarTech, not just CRM, not just, customer service, HubSpot is really like a one-stop shop for you to set up a platform and a single source of truth for all the departments in your business to work out of. So there's no friction and confusion, especially when you're team selling or you're trying to delight a customer.
So when you say just one stop, there's all these different technologies that people want to use, right? Mm-hmm. But the thing that's exciting to me is HubSpot's an open platform.
Correct. Yeah. And that's why it's so funny. A lot of people who come to HubSpot, expecting, hey, I need an email blasting tool. We can do that. Oh, I need a customer service tool. I need a chat bot. I need to measure my revenue for my sales team. So, and this is the reason we have these hubs. HubSpot is that you have these different hubs that can take care of these different aspects of your business. But the truth of the matter is we're most successful when we're used as a platform, from the top of the funnel, strangers hitting your website, to you delighting your customers post-sale and keeping them happy and keeping them referring new business in. So yeah, it's, I spend a lot of my first discovery calls with clients sorting that out. All right, what are you looking for? What are your goals? What are your challenges? Okay, here's my prescription. And what's funny is as my tenure at HubSpot has grown, I found that more and more the entire platform becomes the answer versus just one piece.
Right.
And then to your original point of there's so much out there, you can create an inbound marketing strategy with a bunch of different disparate tools, but you get like a Frankenstein of systems, and it can be good and it can be cost effective, but you're going to spend a lot of soft costs, labor hours trying to connect those systems. So the benefit of HubSpot is the fact that it's all in one spot.
And it's extremely scalable too. Mm-hmm. I can see, companies, you have to make decisions on technology, but it's costly and it's change management and getting people acclimated and oriented. And then later you figure out you've outgrown it, mm-hmm. and you have to start over. But the beauty about HubSpot, it's extremely scalable.
I would agree. What's interesting is if you could hear the different types of Zoom calls I'm on all day. I'll give you an example. I was just on a call yesterday with a bootstrap startup. That's 2 people, and they're trying to start a hard seltzer company. And then fast forward 2 hours later, I'm talking to a 2,000 person, commercial real estate lender that needs an enterprise solution. And I think that's one of the things that's about HubSpot is exactly right. Is it's scalable, whether you are a solopreneur or you are that enterprise multinational company. We can now be that solution. And I would say 5-10 years ago, that may not have been the case. And we might have been thought of as not being able to handle that, but we definitely can now. And that's been a goal of ours.
So the next question I hear a bunch is, what can I do with HubSpot?
Yeah, that's a loaded, vague question in a good way. Because I mean, really, you can do, we have our funnel. Well, now we have our flywheel, right? Where you have people who are searching you for the first time, or strangers that are hitting your website for the first time, right? HubSpot can help you at that front, where you're converting those leads, you're gaining business intel, you're gaining traction, all the way through the entire customer acquisition process to the end where you have happy customers and you're sending out surveys or you're having them refer new business in. And really, we can do everything in between. So what HubSpot can do, when someone asks me that, I usually say, whoa, we need to take a step back. What do you want HubSpot to do? What are your goals? And then let's
Wow.
go from there, because it's so powerful. And if you really want me to talk about everything HubSpot can do, I need about a 4 to 5 hour meeting with you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I like to answer that as this. We think that our website is supposed to like get us some leads.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of where we're stuck as a business owner. Is like, this is where the world is going to revolve around this website that's getting us leads. But what you realize after a little bit is that, let's assume it's successful and a lead comes in.
Mm-hmm.
What's coming into your organization? Who's it going to? What are we going to do with this lead? Who's going to follow up? Are we going to document conversations?
Right.
Right? What are the resources that we're going to use in that process?
Mm-hmm.
And then how do we communicate with them if they become a client or a
And
customer?
then if there's change at our company, or we're team selling, where do we go to find out, the tail of the tape? Where do we get that recorded history from when they first filled out a form on our website, all the way through to when they first engaged with us one-on-one and our sales team? And
Mhm.
then after that, when they were assigned, maybe they were onboarded onto our product, or then they were assigned a customer service rep. Where can we go to get a single source of truth there? And yeah, to your point, the outreach, the streamlining, and the recorded history of that can all be done within our tool.
Yeah, imagine a centralized place that everybody looked at a client's contact record and
Mm-hmm.
could see the history of communications from your team, the
Mm-hmm.
history of visits, documents viewed, downloaded, pages on your website viewed, all these things, they're right there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a cohesive tool that you coordinate your team to better serve the people that you develop a relationship and bring into your organization.
Yeah, and another phrase we hear a lot in that same vein is reducing friction, right?
Mhm.
Because when marketing is handing off leads to sales, HubSpot can reduce that friction because it's all in one spot. Or when sales is saying, okay, this is great, I'm about to close this deal, but what actually brought them to our product? Was it a blog post? Did they convert on a form? Was it a webinar that we did? All of that can be tracked. I always joke that there's always it's like the brother and sister fighting. It's marketing and sales pointing the finger at each other. Marketing's like, I gave you all these great leads. How come you're not giving us credit? And sales is saying, I sourced this lead. You didn't give it to us. And by having a single place where the alignment of marketing and sales is there, and you use reporting and you use things like, attribution to find that out, you stop that finger pointing and you realize that they start working together and they start to value each other more. So yeah, I think that's the reduction, not only the great streamlining of external communication, but the reduction of friction internally among teams has been
Yeah.
a huge benefit.